Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War 3. So, we're starting on our invasion of Russia. I do not have any more moves, as I recall. So what we need to do... Yes, we got the Irish there. The army that we sent to Ireland, clearly we cannot take the rest of the United Kingdoms with just one army. So I intend to send that instead towards... Either if I attack Sweden by attacking... I probably would attack Finland first and take that, and then maybe continue on and open up sort of a second front on Russia, which could be useful because the Russians have lots and lots and lots of full stacks. But as I believe I do not have any moves, and I don't think I have anything else to do, so let's go ahead and end turn. No, we've got some troops marching up. All the reinforcements are on the way. We've got some English troops moving around there. Oh, where's this navy going? Blast! Let's stop. I get so much money from all my... Why can't they just reroute the trade? I could easily reroute the trade to any of my other ports. It would be, I mean, even better to reroute them towards my port in south of France. But instead, no. They want to send it to they want to send the all my trade through the same route and get it just completely taken by the English. Spanish, not entirely sure why the Spanish never do anything. I could get the Spanish, possibly. What was that? And that's my port being blockaded. City of Lemberg being under siege. Path blocked. And then a load of troops being recruited, among other more Polish lances. Oh, they just they're raiding this area. That's quite a large ship. It must be the what's it called? The Santa. I can't exactly recall what it's called, but it's that big ship, because I don't see any other ship that has 140 cannons. It's quite a lot. Is it Nelson's fleet? Whose fleet is this? No, it's Thomas Masterman Hardy that sends a British force to stop our trade there, which probably takes quite a cut out of my trade. We can go ahead and see. Yes, all of this from the Mediterranean, South America and Africa. A trade totaling, you know, a couple of thousands. Probably around something like 20,000. Well, we need a navy here, a small navy here, just to keep this under control. So what I can do is I can just maybe have these smaller boats, the frigates and stuff. We'll put them here, and then we put on the frigate Victoria, we'll put an admiral of some sort. Son of the Sea. Son of the Sea, this guy, Felix de Hubert. He will be in command. Although they didn't put him on the frigate, they put him on the smaller frigate, the one we stole off the Swedes. And then my navy will take this route around to avoid Nelson, because Nelson's down here in Bristol, as I recall. And then the navy will go and be part of the invasion of Russia. And let's see. What I need to do now is we need to see to with that that siege. Where are you going? You're going up to the front. Yeah, you can continue with that. We've got Napoleon here. He's about to be reinforced by Saul, and these two will then advance on Vilnius. We've got Utrino, which is going to attack Kurland. And I think you should be able to succeed in this without me having to play the battle. He needs more cannons, really. He has only one cannon. We won it, but we lost 1,000 men. So quite a lot. Oh, we can liberate this region, but I have no interest in that. I was hoping that this route would be completely open for my advance on the enemy. But clearly it wasn't. But open enough that I think we're quite safe in taking that region. St. Petersburg is quite open actually, so the navy could go there and land some troops and take that. I can't remember, but I think the enemy actually had some hidden army right here, so we don't want to move over that bridge, but we want to make sure that that area is secure. It would be nice if there were some Polish like militia unit that we could have stationed in Poland just to keep it under control. Not that that is a problem. The Polish army will continue and put pressure on this area with Napoleon, but there's a lot of Russians everywhere, and this army, I mean, I could bypass these two and go ahead and attack this, which would prompt the enemy into a possible retreat rather than to slug it out. And then we have this army that needs to move to the border and ready themselves to go across and fight the Turks. They have quite a lot of troops, the Turks, even though they have lost so much territory and only control one region. We've got question is where you know what, there's so many Russians, so we're gonna have to send Murat over here, otherwise he would have gone down there. But once we complete this region, we of course have 3 full stacks. No, there's more, there's 4 full stacks that could move out, given that nothing comes through here. But then we have 4 that could, you know, be split off down here and so on. So that's good. We've got more troops coming up here to aid Napoleon. Actually, what we could do is we could take these two middle guard units, transfer them to Napoleon from the Belgian army, and then the Belgian army will take 2 of these. Ah, they can't actually move. Yes. Well, can I split these then? Yes, and then this one can stand upon it. And yes, there we go. Now we've got full stack. And then these 2 will just be part of reinforcing the region there. Got the Poles. I moved the navy. The frigates are holding. We've got more armies being, or more troops being recruited all across here. That will be organized into armies. But I think we'll go ahead now and do this battle, which is, you know, versus no-name Russian guy. And this is the army that has the howitzers, which performed quite badly, as I recall. Will he be reinforced by this army? Because then it will be quite a lot, but I think he can handle it on his own. I think just with the amount of Russian armies, I'll probably have to, you know, do quite a few of them off camera. But the more sizable one and more important ones I will do. Yes, he will be supported by Mikhail Kutuzov. So we'll decline attack, and we'll have to bring in Elan. The question is, will this army won't come to the aid of this army? Ah, wait, this army is supported by Mikhail Kutuzov, which is down here. Oh. But what I'll do then is I'll move you over there, and then Junor can attack. Can he not? No, he cannot actually. So then Lan will have to attack, but there's a risk he's being what's it called? Ambushed if he tries to go around here. So what we'll do is we'll strike this one, kill them. Oh, I lost surprisingly 1,000 men, so that wasn't good. And we didn't even destroy this force. Ney will have to destroy this force then. Make sure that it gets destroyed. And then Ney will stand in the way. And then I think this is it for this turn actually, so let's go ahead and end it. Get more reinforcements up. The thing is, the only cannons I can recruit now, I believe, are the 6-pounders. And the 6-pounders are not very good. I would need 12-pounders. 12 8-pounders. I think that the French have 12, 8 and 6. And then the English have 9, 8 and 6-pounders. And then, well, most nations actually have 12, 8 and 6-pounders. It's only the English that don't have 12-pounders. They have 9-pounders instead. So they don't have the... oh, there's so many Russian armies. They're pouring in 2 more Russian full stacks. But they're concentrating quite a lot of troops there, so we could probably crush them there. The question is what kind of... to go all the way to Russia, we'll have to probably meet the Swedish Navy. And we'll also meet with the Russian Navy. And given my poor command of naval battles, will do well to avoid conflict with any of those navies. Another port is being blockaded. Their blockades, it seemed it didn't do much, or maybe I just... now we can see all of England. We can see they've industrialized quite heavily. We can see all their armies as well. So we got Wellington and stuff up in the north. There's still 2 full stacks down here. Wales is completely open, so I could send my navy over there and take Wales. Probably won't be able to hold it though. So we will continue on our plan of opening up a new front on the Russians with this army. There were some of these reinforcement units that were stopped in their tracks. These cannons need to be brought up, and we've got winter, which isn't very good, is it? Is any of my armies affected by winter? Not yet, but they could be quite soon. If we cross into enemy territory. Or, I'm not sure, maybe they removed it, because I can't see them being affected by it. They're bringing in so many Russian armies here, so we're gonna just station more of our armies there and ready ourselves to fight them It's going to be quite a lot of fighting there. And then you are now ready on the border, but I think we need to do a turn until he'd be able to attack directly in one turn, which would be the best choice going forwards. And then what we could do is we can have a small battle here with the Polish army, and then I can wait until next episode to do this big one, because I think I've spent a lot of time, or maybe I haven't actually, and we've got this one coming in. You know what, let's fight this one. Let's make sure though that this might crash because there's so many troops going to be fielded on this battle. Oh, he falls back. But we don't want to follow him because we know that the enemy keeps a lot of troops down there. I've got 4 full stacks, but there's just as many Russian ones. Then the attack will go over to the Polish army, which will attack here. And let's go ahead and draw into battle. The Battle of Grodno in 1807. Man and not men is the most important consideration. Defender Alexei Makarov. Let's see how well this Makarov guy fights against the Polish force. It's hard to see really what's going on here on the field. But we can see some Russian lancers. Let's go ahead and draw the Polish forces together. And then we have the 2 batteries, which I will place on this side. Yeah, it looks good. Then we got the infantry. Gonna have let's have 4 of them on this side, and we put the 14th behind them, and then these 2 on this side, followed up by these 2, the guards, 2 guard units. Then we got the light foot. The question is whether, you know what, we put the light foot over here, and the light foot will be followed by the grenadiers, and then we got all the lancers. We split them up. You know what, these 2 come in thicker formation, so we'll put them on the same side, and the other 2 on this side. Then the general over here, and boom, let's start this off. We got some Russian oblisheni spotted behind some cover. Got the cavalry over here, which is being bombarded by my cannons. And let's get these men in order along the line. The Russian, I was about to say that the Russian, we can't see a lot of Russians, but now they're starting to turn up. Right, they come too close, so let's start canister, and then we'll have the troops on this side start to advance together with the cavalry, which will come through here. Got enemy cavalry there, so we don't want to advance too far, do we? Want to get into lines, and we'll tell them to run to get into position. And then the general should hide behind the line. The enemy is charging, but they stopped their charge, and we're now opening fire upon them. Oh, they're firing back, dragoons. But they're not gonna do well against 2 line infantry units. As you can see, their morale is almost shattered. These 2 will now swing like a door, like that, while the grenadiers continue on, and then they will swing like a door, and the cavalry will continue further through there. Right, this unit shouldn't go anywhere, but the rest of them should tilt up towards that strong point over there, and then the cavalry will go up behind it. Looks like most of the enemy is trying to come down through the center. But they're messing up quite badly in their assault. The light troops are getting into position and are opening up on the dragoons. They've got another unit of dragoons coming in towards the forest. The light troops are firing out of the forest. The horsemen, the light horsemen. Oh, that guy stumbled upon the hedge. It almost looks like stone because it's grey due to the snow. The Russian garrison is being easily defeated by the more numerical Polish army. And they should secure the south of the town. I can't remember exactly what town it was, but they should be able to secure it for Napoleon. Okay, now the grenadiers will turn in. There's a risk though here, since this guard unit is coming in. So the 7th Lancers will charge in on them into the forest. Polish Lancers versus Hussars. And the Russians were utterly slaughtered. The Lancers didn't lose a man, and they were able to kill loads of them. Now we need to turn in the men on the side to make sure the Russians are gone. They have a bit of a wall that's protecting them, but they don't really stand a chance in the long run. And out from the forest, loads of Polish troops march out on the field, where the horsemen died in their foolish attack. The enemy general has been killed by a stray bullet. A stray bullet from somewhere here went all the way. We actually, did you see that canister that fired on these guys? Actually, some of those bullets flew all the way here and killed 2 grenadiers. hold here, make line, and open fire upon the enemy. You will go along there. Grenadiers will go there. It's a Grenadier regiment. That's making its last stand as we're opening fire upon them. And then we got the 33rd, just a regiment of foot. I think we're gonna switch to round shot at this point, and we're gonna tell them to barrage that square. The Russians form square, not necessarily to protect against cavalry, but you can use it sometimes because it boosts morale a bit when you form into square. But don't think they will stand for long in square, be coming under cannon fire. Let's see, the hussars, or I mean the lancers, have done their work, and some of it can be seen right here, where we've got a lot of Obligeni trying to run away, being cut down as they went. They've dropped the square and have moved to face off against the lines, and are not doing too well, are they? The main Polish lines, though, the ones that did the most of the fighting, or were part of most of the fighting, lost quite a lot of men, I must say. Well, quite a lot, not that many, but around 50 men. Cannon shot going through. I'm not sure if it was soaked up. It looked like it was soaked up there by the wall. But as we can see, quite a few cannon shots have gone through and hit this area. And there we are, victorious. And the Russians are fleeing the field. The south of the town is open for Napoleon's attack. Let's go ahead and save this. Boom. All mankind is divided into 3 something something. We only lost 307 men. And quite a few, or very few of them, were actually killed by friendly fire. Which normally I get quite high amount of friendly fire. I really want to know if there's anything behind here, because otherwise if Napoleon strikes there, it's completely open. And to go all the way to Minsk. And he does have this reinforcement army just behind him to come in and aid. So Napoleon could march up. He could get Seoul just behind him. Let's march in and see if the enemy wants to intercept. And they do. The enemy intercepts, and they have quite a few reinforcements, but it's a lot of militia and other troops. Some guns. A 12-pounder battery. They only have one gun though against, I mean, Napoleon has his really large battery, and he's got almost entirely his army is comprised of guard units at this point. Let's go ahead and save just to make sure, and then fight this battle. And hopefully this will just drag in all of it. We can slay all of it and then open up just a huge hole in the center, which hopefully will force the Russians to back off in the south and sort of pull back to recover. Otherwise, Napoleon is going to march straight in to Moscow and take it. Although in my case, it's not going to be as devastatingly. Let's see. The best hill is there, but it's a huge forest in the way, so you can't really fire from there. So I think the best way, or the best place to place the big artillery piece is here. I think that's where I should place it. And then we'll just have the men drawn out along here. These guys will place this thing in front of the artillery, and then will they move a bit further and place the spikes. Then we got all the guard units, which will be in just a long line here. We can have the light infantry going through the forest, and they will be backed up by the regular infantry, although two veterans. And then we've got the Badish and Grenadiers on the furthest flank. And what else? Oh, I changed the position of these. There you go, in the middle. Right, the Emperor's Dragoons, heavy cavalry on this side, then heavy and light. Yeah, light in center actually. That could be good. So we can send them to wherever they're needed, and then we got this artillery piece that we could have deployed on this side as just protection against the enemy if they come through the forest. So that's good. Let's go ahead and start the battle. We've got a bit of a farmhouse where Napoleon could take refuge if necessary. So this force will march up and try to secure this house, with the heavy cavalry going out in the open around there. And you will advance now a bit across here. There's actually some points which you cannot cross. So, you know what? I imagine the enemy would come maybe around there. So move forwards. Oh! That cannon shot went in at an angle that could have hit Napoleon. It hit the carriage of the cannon. So we're gonna conduct... where is the enemy artillery? We will conduct our fire to concentrate on the enemy battery. Both cannons will concentrate the fire there. And then I will concentrate to start off with the fighting around this house. The light infantry will be drawn out like that, and they will be supported by the two veteran fusiliers behind. There's a bit of a hill, so I guess we can move these a bit more forwards, and so the veterans can fire over the light infantry, so there's no risk of them dying. And then the Badish and Grenadiers can move to take the house, and then the heavy cavalry can be stationed in this hole right here, which hopefully opens up for these guys to shoot wherever they want as they go along. How's that battery fight going? They've hit us, but we haven't hit them. Time to deploy the stakes. Yeah, we're hitting this hill right here. So the cannons aren't really doing anything good there. So what we'll do is we'll aim for the cavalry units out there, destroy them, and hopefully that will lead to to opening up the ground for the infantry to advance.
We have taken the building, sir.
The Barders and Grenadiers are now taking the house, and they're opening fire from the windows towards the Russian forces. We got enemy Jaegers coming up, and so we will tilt this unit to face them, and we've got enemy cavalry coming in. They will snag on to the light infantry, which will redraw, but they will redraw under the cover of the fire from the veteran Fusiliers, and hopefully that will be enough to send this unit off. As I thought, they were sent off, and now the light infantry can go back, take their position again here, and open up fire upon the enemy. Run, get into position, while the light infantry over on this side can open up there together with the infantry. Time to go back and stand there. We've actually lost 2 artillery pieces due to the enemy. Form square, and then the Emperor's Dragoons will move out to face them. Somehow we need to get that battery because it's killing our own battery. What's this? Horse Guards, Dragoons. And they will be attacked by the Grenadier Cheval. But they're also... the Hussar unit is coming in. We're opening fire along the line here. The house is holding. What I need to do is I need to maybe lay down the fire through this route from the main battery. The squares are holding. And the forest is holding for now. And my cavalry unit is winning that fight over there. But there's a lot of men up here. And a lot of enemy cavalry. Can't really form square when there's so many units here. We might actually lose this part because the Russians are now charging in. The 61st Regiment is charging in. They need extra support. We need to mobilize the light cavalry. I'll make sure that you don't fire by telling you to hold fire. And then I'll need to get these guys quickly over here. These guys need to fall back.
Our men are running, sir.
So they don't get completely annihilated. And then I'll send the light cavalry over on that side to deal with them. You know what? We'll tell these guys to find their own targets. And then get rid of that cavalry. We need to get these squares, get them out of square, and then we need to bring the lines like so to open fire upon the enemy. Now the light cavalry is needed, and they need to charge and get the Russians that are attacking over here, get them away from the lines. And then we need to continue our charge over there. Make sure that these guys do not come back. The light infantry here, surprisingly, is still alive. We really need to advance some of these units to be able to come out of here. Go around the house, and you sort of will turn here because this hill will protect your flank. And the main Russian force is falling back. That people in that forest need to turn to face the enemy coming from over there. The light cavalry going through needs to go through here and just send everyone off. House is still under our control. The heavy cavalry is done with their attack, so they will move back to connect with the rest of the units. We don't want to go too far forwards, given just the fact that there's going to come around, you know, a few thousand reinforcements. These will advance, and then these will turn, and then these will turn, and the battery will limber, and we'll see about getting it to a better position next to those closer to this region. It's going well down in the forest. And the Russians are losing quite a few men. The light cavalry is too far away from the rest of our line, and I bet they're quite tired. They'll try to make their way back. This cannon needs to be moved up as well, but it's got the big forest in its way, so it's gonna have a hard time going through that or trying to go around that. The artillery is now on its way. These two will turn like so, while these will hurry over there, and the cavalry will be stationed. The Emperor's Dragoons will be stationed behind there. And now I'm moving everything forwards. Yes, we have defeated the Russians over here, so now we can move up. Claim the hill over there. These guys will turn like so. And will move more and more men. More and more men to attack over here. Get in among them and fight them. And then you will march up there. Enemy general instead. Cavalry marched into this this half circle of death, and we've got our company of sappers moving up as well. Got lots and lots and lots of Russians. Let's see if we can get this battery in order on the hill, and then advance the troops. We've got a bomb right there that needs to be taken care of. Or we cannot take care of it, but it needs to be. We need to keep an eye on it.
The battle rages on.
Let's see. So far in the battle, I haven't been able to get any good, sort of close up. A close-up view of what's going on, because there's so much going on. But now I'm starting to get a line going across the battlefield. You know what? With the hill being as it is there, I think we can turn these guys a bit without risking them being attacked in the flank. We do have the cavalry, the Emperor's Dragoons sitting here, so that should be enough to hold the enemy off. Most of the troops down here are old guard, but there was also quite a few middle guard. Well, the entire army is made up of guards, so it's very likely that the guards are down here, except of course for the one unit of sappers. More guard units all along the line, laying down fire in the village. The chasseurs are stuck in here. The Russian unit's about to give way, but the chasseurs don't have a lot of men, so they're also about to give way. Yeah, they're gonna flee. Where did I put my cavalry? Very tired. Both of them are very tired. But we might have to mobilize them just because the pressure of all the Russian troops that are down here. It's another militia unit that goes in for a melee charge. But they had just that slow advance into just tremendous fire by our force. And soon the big battery is about to come into place, and we see Napoleon coming in here to overview the situation. Oh no, this is not Napoleon at all. Is it? Oh yes. Yo, yes. This is supposed to be Napoleon. No, it is not Napoleon. Napoleon's over here. I thought, what other general could that possibly be? But of course, it is the reinforcement general that's turned up. You know what? We'll send the reinforcement general down here immediately, because here is where he most likely is needed, or a general is needed in this area. These guys will fall back a bit because the enemy is coming up so close. You know what? Let's get rid of all of this. The heavy cavalry will go in first, and then the light will follow. Keep up that charge. Where's the light cavalry? Get in there. Still holding the house, which is good. And this area is being held as well. What I might do is I'll turn this one like this, and then I can stretch these a bit more. Oh, something is firing back. Oh, they still have their battery.
And must rest a while.
We will start to set up our battery. Oh, they're stuck here on a square. That just broke. Can you continue on to this militia unit? Or no, turn into the flank of this one. And see if we can just break this. You know what? Let's go after this instead. Cavalry is so tired, I don't want to get them stuck in with all of these men. Let's see the battery. We've got the other battery. We can have that one. Try to get that one forward as well. Right, these guys are now firing. They're laying cannon shot in towards this battery, I imagine. The Russians are coming at it again. Charging in, but against the guards it's no use. Oh, fall back guard. You're about to walk onto that mine. The Russians are falling back in disarray. Ah, we do have a unit coming in to try to flank here. But the Emperor's Dragoons are fresh, and so they will be used to send them away. These guys are so tired, they can't chase the enemy down. They're gonna have to go out from battle and recuperate. These two units of Fusilier needs to be replaced, really. But I cannot just send them away. What we need to do is we'll close this gap and we'll send some of these units up. Let's see. Boom! Such a volley. Almost like a canister shot. Murderous fire onto the enemy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take these two and we're gonna move them up. We're gonna close the hole with these two, and then we're gonna have these sent over here, and to reinforce this area where we need troops. And these guys will swing around and hold the flank while the Emperor's Dragoons charge down the enemy. Once more the Russians go in for a charge. And once more they're gonna be broken. You know what? Last time someone said, why don't you charge more? Well, here we go. Charge, men! You know what? I don't think the bomb is going to be very effective, so we'll charge straight through it, and Napoleon will go ahead and aid these men. And we do have the Emperor's Dragoons, which will turn around and come around there. We're gonna go all the way to Moscow with its charge if I have to. And it's the 7th Foot Guard that's leading the charge, followed by the 3rd. And oh, the 1st Foot Guard is coming in just behind them. And the guys on the front can inspire them. So many Russian troops are fleeing here. The Emperor's Dragoons needs to be called in to attack them. The other 2 guard units will move up. This one will reposition to put down maximum fire on that unit. This Russian unit, it's only a recruit unit, but it's still standing against the guard. But the Russians, of course, have a lot more men in their units. There they go. One of our units. This unit came under fire from these guys. They're still very tired. I want you to continue your retreat. Okay, we need to turn here to ready ourselves just in time for when the reinforcements turn up. Then the sappers will actually go here, and the guard will take most of this. Oh, this unit has turned up. And canister, and then you will turn around here, drawing them onto the canister. Emperor's Dragoons will charge after the Russians, and it looks like the battle is won. The enemy has lost. So many dead Russians everywhere. Get some speed behind that advance, and then we'll tell this artillery to hold fire because they're just firing into the mountain. We just need to get rid of a lot of these men. The poor Russian sods are getting cut down. two last units still remain, but they're gonna go walk straight into this canister. And now this guard unit is gonna move up and start firing upon them. Let's hold fire until they're close enough to deliver a decisive shot. Same with the canister. The canister will hold fire for now. And then we'll open up simultaneously and break them. Okay, we'll get some fire from the house and so forth. Okay, they're moving into position. Open fire! Boom! Cannons are not very effective at this range. Still killing a few though. The gunfire is much more effective. One unit has come back, firing at the Emperor's Dragoons. Get rid of them. The light cavalry will charge and get rid of those men. Get rid of them. It's down to the cavalry for the final fight. But the enemy is broken and they are retreating. Yes, it is time to end the battle, but I'm gonna continue a bit into this because we're probably gonna have to cut some of these down, because otherwise I'll have to fight them again. To make sure that we don't have to fight them again. That's probably enough. Let's go ahead and end the battle and save this one. This one might be a better battle to do the thumbnail off than the one against, or the one with the Polish. So Napoleon, the enemy deployed 10,000 men. We deployed 7,800. Napoleon lost 1,375, while the Russians lost more or less 7,000 men, or more precise, they lost 6,859 men. Most of the casualties seem to be focused around the two skirmisher units, and the highest kills goes to the it actually goes to the Dragoons. They got 939 kills, and then it's the middle guard unit that gets 690 kills. But most of it is to the guards, and then the two veteran fusilier units that fought in the forest. Napoleon ended up here. Oh, Napoleon because 0. There's a lot here they got 0. Because, it's Napoleon is among the reinforcement armies counted in here as well. Right, let's see the outcome of the battle. This was truly worth that symbol right there. You can see Napoleon's army is quite beaten, and so maybe the Belgian army will then lead the follow-up attack on the actual town of Vilnius. But this will be the end of this episode, so I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!